2 Thessalonians. 2 Thessalonians is the shortest of Paul's 9 letters to the churches. We've already looked at the background to this letter when we looked at the background of 1 Thessalonians. Remember Acts chapter 17. You'll remember that the Thessalonians had warmly received the gospel, even though there was a great deal of opposition in Thessalonica. You'll also remember that Paul viewed these young Christians as a model to others. 2 Thessalonians is probably written soon after 1 Thessalonians. That is probably late AD 50, early AD 51. The Christians, it seems, are still experiencing a significant amount of persecution for their faith. They also seem to be confused by Paul's teaching regarding the second coming. This confusion has been added to, no doubt, by some who were falsely claiming that Paul had taught or sent a letter maybe saying that Jesus had already returned. Maybe it was these false ideas about Jesus' return that had caused some of the Christians in Thessalonica to stop working. Certainly, Paul has to address the issue of idleness in his 3rd chapter. So this letter is mainly written to straighten out the Thessalonians' wrong thinking about the second coming of Jesus. This letter is mainly about the day of the Lord. And Paul corrects this wrong thinking of the Thessalonians by making it clear that the second coming of Jesus was still in the future. It was still future. And that a figure that he calls the man of lawlessness would come first, before Jesus' return. He also tells them that those who troubled them with their false teaching and those who persecuted them would be punished at Jesus' return. The letter ends with Paul writing a greeting in his own hand. Most of the letter would have been written by a scribe, but the distinguishing mark of a genuine letter from Paul was his own greeting written at the end, he tells them. In this way, the Thessalonians could see which was a real letter from Paul and which was a fake. Finally, notice there in your notes a possible outline of 2 Thessalonians.